For our final paper, I chose the Flint water crisis, and the gist of it is that water in Flint is making people very sick because of very poor government choice. And basically, the most recent happenings of that is that the MDEQ, so the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, did not do a thorough check of the water quality in Flint. And so people were drinking water that was like dirty and murky and smelled really bad and like tasted awful, and in the water there was traces of E. coli and some other bizarre things that I'm not really sure what they actually do. Something cholera-esque, I suppose. And then also the lead poisoning, which came from the pipes that were super, super old that needed to be replaced and never were. And so a bunch of women, children, and men and dogs also got really, really sick, and a lot of people are suffering because of a poor choice the government made. And so I chose two sources, which were The Guardian and MLive. And The Guardian is more of an international, national website, and MLive is more local to the Michigan area. And so the major differences between them is that The Guardian is a little bit more refined and informational than MLive, and MLive is more local news, entertainment, and just, all that extra stuff. And so, starting with The Guardian, they had only 3 articles that I found in the several weeks that we had to do this, and 2 of them were opinion-based, and 1 of them was just more of a clickbait-ish article. And I was surprised that they didn't cover it more, but being an international website, I can kind of understand why it wouldn't be covered more. A, because the election in America is kind of overshadowing everything else going on in the States. And also, being an international website, I feel like people don't care as much about some things that are happening to people here if it's not big like the election. And so, The Guardian opinion articles were very biased towards, of course, the people, and the formats were pretty straightforward. There was nothing too showy or interesting about them. They were just like, here's my opinion on what's happening. And if you're a new reader, you wouldn't really understand the context because they didn't really recap anything or like summarize the situations. They just kind of gave you straightforward, like, this is what I think about this. And then the clickbait article was a little bit different. It was just like, here where things went wrong. And it was very like, it just kind of, it recapped a lot better than the other articles, but it didn't have a whole lot of depth to it. And speaking of not a lot of depth, MLive was a pile of trash. I basically got a lot of information from them because they updated pretty much weekly, once or twice, or maybe more times, about the Flint water crisis, at least towards the beginning of the semester, and then towards the end they just kind of were lacking. But they had definitely more innovative ways of portraying the situations. They were very image heavy, very like snappy with their headlines. It was easy to find things because they made everything super bold, but the biggest problem with MLive is that it didn't really have substantial information, and a lot of the articles were sort of repeats of things that were already said, and the majority of people covering these articles were the same 2 people, which is a huge problem because you're not getting all the perspectives of different writers. And I think when 2 writers just monopolize a certain subject, you're only seeing it from their point of view. So, in short, Guardian, better quality. MLive, not so great quality, but more innovative format. Guardian straightforward, better writers, shittier writers. Overall, I probably would have gotten a third source just to get like a middle ground, like CNN or ABC or something that's national in between local and international. And overall, I feel like I learned a lot, but at the same time, I wish it was just a little bit more substantial with the information that I found on MLive that didn't update, like that updated like regularly, but didn't really have good information.